Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steven. Welcome back to Redolessence. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I'm going to be letting you know what the main differences I spot to be between a real bottle of Creed fragrance and a fake bottle of Creed fragrance. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin the video, I just want to say that if you like this type of content, if you like comparison videos, fragrance reviews, top 10 videos on fragrances here on YouTube, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click that red button in the corner and I would really appreciate it. So today we are talking about real versus fake, and this is a Creed fragrance. I've actually done these videos in the past. I did one video on Navitus Parfums. I did another video on Parfum de Marly, which was my bottle of Herod. I ended up purchasing a fake bottle of that. And here I purchased a fake Creed fragrance. Now, truth be told, at this point, I do want to purchase fake fragrances because I want to show you what the differences are so that you can get a better idea of how to defend yourself. I always say forewarned is forearmed. If you can spot the differences, especially if you're trying to engage in such a transaction in a Facebook group or whatever, you can always request that the seller send more photos to you so that you can take a more close look and try to sort of determine what's real and what's not based off your observations of these photos. So here I have two bottles in front of me, and I would assume that the real challenge lies in the fact that you have an older generation of Creed fragrances and then you have the new gen. And some of these differences are in the cap and the fact that the sprayer is not pressurized, and the fact that, you know, the logo might be altered a little bit where on one it's circular, on the other one it's not. And so I have a new gen Aventus. This one was purchased at full retail. And here you can see this is the new gen cap, just like this bottle, which is the new gen cap. And so there are a lot of differences to spot when trying to determine what's real and what's not. I think when you're looking at these though, it might be easy to spot which is the real one and which is the fake one. I would imagine that there are some counterfeiters out there that do a better job. And so take a guess. Which one do you think is real? Which one do you think is fake? There is one dead giveaway for this as well. And that is the fact that with the fake one, you can see that the stem inside the bottle has this noticeable curvature to it, and obviously this is the fake one. In the real Creed bottles, it just goes down kind of like a J, right? This one, it almost has this wobbly feature to it, and so it's not very well done in my opinion. But there are some other differences that obviously I would like for us to take a look at up close. Now, when it comes to purchasing Creed fragrances, I would definitely recommend that you use a legitimate website or a legitimate boutique. I know there's Oswald in New York. If you want to purchase it straight from the boutique as well on Madison Avenue, you can do that too. Whenever you are purchasing a discounted Creed fragrance, which I have done many, many times before, you are always assuming a risk, unless of course you have experience with that merchant who is selling it to you. You've bought from them before and you can vouch for their credibility and their authenticity. But nonetheless, I have two Creed fragrances. Obviously, this is original vetiver. There are some noticeable differences. The real one is one that I purchased straight from the Creed boutique. I purchased this at full retail, and as you can tell, I have actually worn this a lot. And so I am going to be doing a comparison between the real and the fake. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the differences up close. All right, so here we are. As I mentioned to you before, you can see that there are some noticeable differences. Obviously, the fake one is on the right here, and it has the new gen cap. The new gen cap does not belong on the older bottle as far as I'm concerned and as far as I know. So as you can tell, this is a 4-ounce bottle. The 4-ounce bottle is supposed to have the cap with the circular logo here that you see. The new gen caps actually belong on the 3.4-ounce bottles, just like the Creed Aventus that I showed on camera before. But so the first thing that you'll notice is that the stem inside the real one is actually nice and curved. This one is a little bit more exaggerated, so you can tell that that stem was a little bit too long for its own good. So that is the first dead giveaway. If you see that in a listing online, run. Run as fast as you can. Actually, when you take a look at the Creed embossed logo here on the front, It's a little bit more boxy on the fake one. This one is a little more rounded out. So it might be hard to tell on camera here, but the real one is a little bit more rounded out as opposed to the fake one, which is a little bit more boxy. The font actually appears to be quite different as well. They're both sans serif fonts, but the one on the right looks like it's not in bold, whereas the one in the left looks like it is in bold. If you take a look at some of the more fine details, you'll see that after the 38 here, right where my thumb is on the real one, there's a comma after the 38. On the fake one, there is a period. So they didn't even, translate the punctuation as accurately as they could have. You can just tell it's printed differently, a different font. Obviously, if you would like to pause your screen to make some more detailed observations, you may. Also take note of the fact that with the one on the left here, the gradient, it actually goes from clear almost to black down here at the bottom, and this one goes from clear to just green at the bottom. So even the gradient that's printed on here is not the best that it could be. Now, if you take a look at the bottom of some real creeds, you will see that on the silhouette of the base, you don't have these ridges that are found on the fake bottle. So the fake bottle on mine has these ridges all around. I don't know if it's for grip or whatever, but the real bottles don't actually have that. So that was one easy way for me to spot the difference between a real bottle and a fake bottle. And also, I know this is a change that is being done a lot internally on Creed's behalf, but the positioning of the serial number does change from batch to batch. Here I have the serial number printed on the base of my real bottle, and I actually searched high and wide for the serial number of the fake one, and I couldn't locate it anywhere, which was a little surprising. Now, because they did use a next gen cap, I will compare the fake one with the real one from my Creed Aventus. As you can tell, the detailing is not as clear as it is on the real one. On the real one, you can see a lot more detail right on this portion here at the bottom, whereas here it looks a little bit blurred out. And so it doesn't have these fine lines on the inside of this ribbon, I guess, below the what looks to be a fleur-de-lis. So the detail is not as nice on the fake version as it is on the real version here. Now, when you take a look at the inside of the cap, on the real one, it actually has this circular depression right in the middle there, right where the tip of my index finger is, and you actually don't see that on the fake one. The inside is just completely flat on the inside of the fake one. And so as far as the cap is manufactured, they did a pretty good job, but you can tell the real one has that circular depression right in the middle there, whereas the fake one doesn't. Now, because this is a 4-ounce bottle and it is being advertised as such, I want to show you what the distribution on the atomizer looks like between the real one and the fake one. Here's the real one. Really nice distribution, really wide mist. And here's the fake one. A little puny. It also has a propensity to leak a little bit if you don't press it hard enough. Now, another observation that I made is that the Creed logo engraved at the top of the atomizer is actually really good quality, is quite legible, but it's so off center. As you can see, the nozzle is right here in the front, but the Creed logo is actually printed at an angle, or it's engraved at an angle. And so, I mean, that right there is a dead giveaway. You know, from a distance, the bottle does look real, but when you start to look at these fine details up close, it's pretty obvious that it's a counterfeit. Now, luckily for me, when I purchased this, it came with a box. And if you have a box of the real thing, the comparison just is a dead giveaway. You can tell which is real, you can tell which is fake. I mean, the things that are printed on the box are just in a different location. Just everything is different about it. I'm not even gonna get into it, you can tell. But be wary, because there will be some people who will buy it with the box and say, oh, the box is a dead giveaway, so let me just try to sell the bottle on its own, and I'll just say it was a tester or something like that. So just be aware of that. So there you've had an opportunity to take a look at some of the differences between the real and the fake up close. But of course, one thing that we haven't discussed yet is the smell. Now, I did spray both of these on a test strip. I actually sprayed these last night. I visited it this morning, got a feel for both of them, and I must say that the difference was quite obvious between the two. One doesn't even hold a candle to the other. And in addition to that, I also resprayed about 20 minutes before I started filming this video, just so I can see if there's any other details that I pick up on the smell and the longevity, or if I do a clear side by side, is one brighter than the other, is one more organic smelling than the other, whatever. So I would imagine that, and I'm sure you can guess that there will be a lot of differences between the two. And it's interesting because the experience that I had with this fragrance mimics the experience that I had when I purchased my Fake Herod by Parfums de Marly. So what happened was, initially I sprayed the fake version, and you smell it, and it definitely smells like original vetiver. You can tell that this is the fragrance that they were trying to recreate. And this is where I think it might be a little bit dangerous, because if somebody goes to a Neiman Marcus or a Oswald or one of these other stores and they smell the Creed fragrance, and they have this sort of imprint in their memory of what the fragrance smells like, and then maybe 2, 3, 4 months later they decide to purchase a bottle, they're going to smell it and they're going to say, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of what I've smelled 4 months ago. Now, this is dangerous in the sense that they are reverse engineering it to the point where it actually smells like an original vetiver counterfeit. But when you do a side-by-side with the real thing, because of the use of captive ingredients, because of the use of probably some ingredients that are not available to the counterfeiters, the original smells so different. Yeah, and you don't even know it until you do that side-by-side. So here's what happened even when I first smelled the Fake Herod by Parfums de Marly. I smelled the fake version, and I said, okay, I can tell this is a Fake Herod. In this case, I can tell that this is supposed to be their version of an original vetiver, and it actually does smell like original vetiver. And then you try the real thing, and you say, oh, wait a second, no, this is original vetiver. And then when you go back to smell the counterfeit, it's like it's not even there on the test strip anymore. So it really amazes me how that happens, that you go from smelling it and then smelling the real thing, which is much more organic and vibrant and juicier and fresher. To me, the way that I would explain it analogously is it's almost like this is in 2 dimensions and this is in 3 dimensions. The fake version comes across very compressed, this very expanded and full. And I would urge people to go out there, obviously, purchase the real thing. If you have experience with a certain retailer, whether it be a Neiman Marcus, whether it be an Oswald, or any other place that is authorized to carry Creed fragrances, I would much encourage that you do business with one of these places, unless of course you know a discounter online that you've purchased from before, you can vouch and 100% guarantee the authenticity of their products. Then in that case, I would say it's okay, because Creed fragrances are retailing for about $450. But ultimately, I want you to be on the safe side. I want you to be protected. I want you to be forewarned and know that there are these counterfeits on the market. And yes, this is a counterfeit of original vetiver, but they do have counterfeits of Aventus, they have counterfeits of Millésime Imperial, they have counterfeits of Berolfa, they have counterfeits of virtually any Creed fragrance that you can imagine, as long as it's one of their more popular mainstream releases. And this is something that also applies to a lot of other brands too. Byredo, Le Labo, Tom Ford Private Blend, Parfums de Marly, Roja Parfum. So you need to be very, very careful when you're purchasing these fragrances, because the last thing that I would want for my subscribers, for something to happen to my subscribers, is for you guys to get burned and then you're in the hole $100 or $200 or however much you paid to this online merchant who tried to con or swindle you. And I know that I'm in the hole by quite a few bucks with the purchase of this fragrance, but at the end of the day, I feel confident knowing that I can get behind the camera and shoot these videos knowing that I'm able to help somebody in the process. And believe me, I'm not going to make the amount of money back from Google AdSense to cover what I paid for this bottle, but that's okay. It gives me the opportunity to make videos that people will take something of value from and that will protect consumers out there. So I really hope you found something valuable in this video. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, I want to thank you for your time and the fact that you clicked on this video to begin with. And if you did take something of value, please do consider subscribing to this channel by clicking on the red button in the corner. This way, whenever I do upload future fragrance-related content, it'll get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future videos. Thanks again. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.